If you saw our last video, you know we've been staying on Roche Island at my brother's cabin and having a sibling reunion with 3 of my 4 brothers and spouses. Today we're heading over to San Juan Island on the ferry. After parking our cars in the ferry line, we headed to the historic Orcas Hotel, which was built from 1900 to 1904. We often visit the hotel cafe while waiting for a ferry. We heard they were baking something new, and we were anxious to try beignets.
For here, yeah. It's going to be a lot of the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just the beignets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was once suggested the hotel be torn down to make more parking spaces at the ferry landing. Thankfully, it was saved, and it has been on the National Register of Historic Places since 1982.
It's like a denser dough. Well, they're fluffy, but the outside is kind of a little crispier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is.
Delicious.
Go ahead. Come aboard. You know, it's really good theological. I mean,
As we left, we realized we were heading in a different direction than normal. After leaving Orcas ferry landing, we headed this direction and over to Friday Harbor, the town on San Juan Island. In all of our years of coming to the islands, we have always gone from Orcas this direction. So we were wondering what was different. We discovered that it has something to do with the number of employees available on the ferries, and that they need more people if they go this direction. They do still do it sometimes, but we were taken a way we had never been before, this way. Let me point out some things on San Juan Island. This is Friday Harbor, the town, where we will land, and then we'll make our way up to Roche Harbor. Also, this is what's called English Camp. It's a historic park. And then down here is Lime Kiln State Park, where we like to watch for whales. This is American Camp, another historic park. Mount Baker on a beautiful day.
This channel opens out by Shark Reef. So there's Shark Reef State Park, which is a great park to bicycle down to on Lopez. It's a long way. I think we all did it. Oh, that's where we went with Sylvia and David. Do you remember the whole family?
So we're coming into Friday Harbor on San Juan Island.
yeah, it's windy coming in, but it's a beautiful day.
We're just coming in for the day. The town of Friday Harbor is the largest town on any of the San Juan Islands, though it's still a relatively small town of about 2,600 population. It rises from water level up a slight hill and has numerous restaurants and shops. We headed out of town toward Roche Harbor with the plan to return to the town for a short time before catching the ferry home. Roche Harbor is one of our favorite places on San Juan. In the late 1880s, it was the location of a lime kiln business that grew over the years to include a hotel, general store, cottages, and restaurants. It's been a family tradition instituted by my mother to come to the Lime Kiln Cafe for fish and chips.
Yeah. Ah,
So you're going to try the clam chowder?
clam chowder in the Northwest is the best. Oh yeah.
Most everybody got fish and chips. After the lime kiln company closed and Roche Harbor was sold more than once, new owners began marketing it as a resort, making updates and renovating the historic Hotel de Haro.
My friend Theodore Roosevelt once stayed at this hotel.
It has seen many changes just over the last 20 years or so since we've been coming, including the addition of a new neighborhood of craftsman homes and more businesses, yet it has maintained its historic charm. One place we had never stopped was a sculpture park, which we've seen grow from nothing to its large footprint today.
Ruby? Ah.
Nearby, at the small Roche Harbor Airport, you can see small planes land and take off. At an interactive display, some relatives tried their hand at carving. Down the road a ways is English Camp, where British soldiers occupied part of the island for 12 years during a boundary dispute with the U.S. Troops from both the U.S. and Great Britain converged on the island in 1859 after an American shot an Irishman's pig, starting what's known as the Pig War. Fortunately, no human lives were lost, but British soldiers camped on one end of the island and American soldiers on the other end until the international boundary dispute over who owned which islands was resolved by, of all persons, the German emperor. In the interest of full disclosure, we shot video at English Camp with friends a few months ago rather than our most recent visit. Another place we like to stop is Crystal Acres, an alpaca farm and store on the island. They have lots of alpaca products in their store, and their animals are just cute. Lime Kiln State Park is the place to come for whale watching from the shore. One thing to remember on the islands is that state parks require paid parking passes, which can be purchased just for the day or for varying lengths of time up to a year. Volunteers often man the lighthouse and keep track of whale sightings on a big white board. On one visit here, some members of our family counted over 90 whale sightings. This trip, we felt lucky to see one seal. Driving back into Friday Harbor, we headed for Ron's favorite bookstore, a used bookstore called Serendipity.
One of my books back, so I get something else.
Did you have an account here?
Uh-huh. I bought that book twice here. I forgot I had it already. I bought it again.
The place is definitely a maze, but somehow they know where everything is. And of course, there's always ice cream. Lots of talking. And one last stroll by the waterfront.
We are currently in Friday Harbor, waiting to catch the ferry back to Orcas Island. Ton of boats. There are a lot of boats out there.
And back to our temporary Orcas home, just in time for a beautiful sunset. We hope you will like and subscribe.